And welcome back. Now, Vaylen had a little bit of this for us in her sports bulletin, but perhaps just to look at this a little bit broader. 12 years after South Africa's Giniel de Villiers became the first driver from the country to win the grueling desert race, the Dakar Rally in 2009, there was a South African 1-2 finish on stage 5 of the 2021 edition. Now, de Villiers ended just under a minute ahead of the all-South African outfit, Baragwanath and navigator Taye Perry, who are competing in a South African-made car for the Century Racing team. Vaylen Kirtley chatted to the pair, who are currently the highest ranked from the country and sitting in 9th position overall.
We tend to switch off to emotion a little bit at Dakar. It's the only way you get through things. You can't get upset and you can't get too excited, otherwise
you just stay focused.
You got to just keep your eye on the ball.
So I suppose that actually answers my next question, because Taye, I was going to ask you, I know that 2 stages ago you were quite disappointed at what happened because you guys actually had to turn around, you lost quite a bit of time, which dropped you quite far down the general classifications. I mean, how do you deal with disappointments like that and just carry on going?
It's huge because when you've lost a waypoint and you're looking for it, you're wasting so much time, and then you have to consider, do I take the penalty and do I just skip it, or do I keep looking for it? And every waypoint has a different penalty, like time-wise. So it's a big choice to make, but we had to make it, and I think it was okay because we, nothing is ever perfect at Dakar. Everyone is struggling with something. Always, it's Dakar, and luckily we still have 6 more stages to go. Well, 7.
7, yeah.
we never know what day it is. We just keep going.
Brian, what was the terrain like today in comparison to what you've found on the last 4 stages and in the prologue?
Today was very tricky navigation, high speed over the rocks. It's difficult because you quickly make a mistake.
Yeah.
It's like just scanning terrain, really high speed.
Fast-paced change of caps.
These rolling hills of rocky hills where you're doing like 160, and Taye's just shouting instructions the whole time.
The whole time, change of direction.
Keep this cap. Cap is your compass heading. So each time we come over a hill, you've got these blind rises, and then you're dancing through the rocks at high speeds. It's really hair-raising. And then from that we roll into dunes, and then out of that into these rocky rolling hills again. So
lots of variety and change in terrain the whole time. Tomorrow will be a lot more dunes as well.
Yeah. So it's concentration-wise super busy. But tomorrow I think it's going to be another big stage before rest
another
day.
Long day.
They usually try and make these 2 last stages before rest day really hard.
It can make or break.
You can only go as fast as your road book and as your navigator calls the road book. So, if we're going flat out and if Taye doesn't call a triple caution, that's the end of us.
We're going to lose time, or we're going to do something very bad.
Yeah, so it's a 2-way street, from communication to driver. We've both got to be absolutely eyes-peeled.
Yeah.
Can you just explain to us how it actually works inside the car?
The navigator's got a compass heading and a odometer, basically distance, and then you have your roads as well that you choose from. So she's basically got instructions the whole time to say, take a cap of 0, which is north, and then when you get to 100 meters, you fork right at a cap of 45 degrees, for example. So she's constantly reading caps like that, and then
or just normal roadbook notes where it'll show you roads, and it'll have intersections or left turns or right turns and different distances, and there'll be a lot more information on the little pictures and drawings and lexicons, as they call them. We also have a lot more information on our devices.
ERTF.
the ERTF devices, and it's just a whole lot of information in front of the navigator that I need to, we normally just understand it by seeing it, you know what to do, but the navigator in a car needs to explain these things into words that the driver can understand very quickly. And this is 1 day's navigating, 450 Ks navigating, should I say. That's 450 days navigating. Well, what Ks navigating?
For example, when you head out into the dunes, they give you a cap heading, and they say the waypoint is in 5 kilometers. So straight line to the waypoint is 5 kilometers, but you obviously cannot
You have
just
to
go
figure it out.
straight because you need to go around the dunes and weave and
there's no
so,
set route out for you. There's nothing to see. It's all right in front of you in the car.
You pretty much need to use your sense of direction and say, okay, well, we're going to keep going in that direction, but we need to go around this dune and around that dune and
it's a lot of math.
Keep our heading. So.
And at one stage today, I think Carlos Sainz was following you, wasn't he?
Yeah, so from the rest to the finish, Carlos was behind us and he eventually passed us to the finish. It was really cool to just follow him a bit and see how he attacks the dunes and does his lines. Obviously, he's a veteran in the sport. And
he's done many.
We recently went to Namibia in November to do some dune training in the car for the first time. Obviously, from our motorcycle days, we've had some experience in the dunes and dune navigating, but I mean, Carlos and these guys have been doing it for 20, 30 years already. So it's fantastic to learn from them.
How big is today's result for the sport in South Africa?
I hope it encourages people to, especially in these tough times, with COVID and everything, just to keep chasing your dream. I don't think it's quite sunk in with us yet, what we've achieved. But from the beginning, I've seen what the competition does, and I've known what we can do. And working with my boss at Julian Hardy at Century Racing, I've seen the capabilities of his engineering or mind, should I say, and where we are compared to the rest of the world. And he's quite well networked with all the car manufacturers and the racing teams. So we have got a good network of seeing what's happening and where we're at. And I think then you just apply yourself. You just stick to the basics and say, what's your goal? And let's go for it, and let's build a car that can win stages at Dakar.
And can prove it.
And Taye, as a woman to be in this position.
A lot of the guys just still consider me as one of the guys, probably. I mean, in the French language, they often refer to me as him anyway. And a lot of people don't know that Brian has a female navigator. It doesn't really matter to me because I like being equal with the men, but I think it is a pretty big thing probably.